Cut pressure now, he's checking with his pen now, he's on camera. There we go.
Only one.
There we go. That one.
Wait!
Oh,
That's a winner. That was a winner.
That's not very good, is it? Island 61.
61 Island.
Nobody's shouting about that one, are they?
Good morning, people. Yeah, back off holiday. Got back yesterday. A lovely 7.5 hour drive all the way from Dorset. 32 degrees. And the air compacting. Brilliant. Typical, that, isn't it? Right, where have I drawn to? Oh, sorry, I'll tell you where I am. As you've probably noticed, I am at Hayfield Lakes for another crack at a Maver Match This Qualifier. It's not who wins your zone, you've got to win the match outright. There are 70 odd people here apparently today. The weather's been scorchio, but it's overcast today. I think it might be a decent day today. There should be a little bit of room, I would have thought, with there only being 70 odd. Where have I drawn? Well, I think you saw peg 61. Typical that, because I would have snapped my hand off in winter. I would have won the match in winter from peg 61. That is where they've all been caught. But are they up there now? Don't know. I know it was windy yesterday. Not sure which way the wind was blowing yesterday. Oliver Gregory's drawn at the end peg 71. He wasn't happy with that, but that's got to be a cracking peg today. End peg up there today. If wind's been blowing down there, which I think it has actually, he's got to be happy with that. But 61, open water. It'll be Waggler. I would have thought 6 mils, 8 mils, slapping. We'll just see how we get on. I know 8 mils has been the way forward normally, but we'll see how we get on out there. So basically, tactics, Waggler, bomb, method, few shallow rigs. I might have a top 2 and 2 maybe to have a look short, and I'll just see how much room I've got if I decide on a margin. What I found here at Hayfield, I've mentioned it loads of times, unless I've got an end peg, I tend not to go at margins here. I know you've seen Andy Kinder catching on a night, different kettle of fish to fishing during the day. We are fishing 11 while 4, and in my experience, unless it's been an end peg, I've not seen very many fish at all caught in the margins. So just something for you guys to bear in mind if you come match fishing here. If you've loads of room, however, then it's different. But on big matches like this, I've never really caught in margins at all, apart from when it's been an end peg. So there we go. Let me get to my peg, let me get set up, and let's see if we can have a few fishes. Over and out. Right then folks, here I am, peg 61 all ready. Everybody else is ready as well by the look of it. Now, plan of attack. I don't think I can win it from here. You've got to fancy Adams there, or big weights, I think, coming from there, 300 pounds and all that sort of stuff. So I think it's just fish for his section up here maybe. But the wind it's changed direction now and it's blowing up this end, so whether the fish follow it or not, don't know. So what's my plan of attack? Peg 61, be brilliant in winter. He's won a lot of matches through winter. So here we go. Top 2 and 3 down here. I'll have a pinging line for shallow. I've got a mugger rig set up in case there's any muggers, but like I say, the weather's completely different today. Just seen one out there. There's not a great deal of fish, and it'll be Waggler, bomber pellet and method. And then I said I wasn't going to set a margin rig up, but I've got a nice little margin down here. Not holding my breath about that one, but you just never know. Keeping it as simple as that. I'm not going to try and complicate anything whatsoever. Fish from as many bites as I can get and see where we go. And as you can see on my tray, I've got 8 mils, 4 mils for pinging over. I've got a bit sticky at me because I've put some oil and stuff on them. Same with the 6s. So we're pinging them, fishing those. Micro spot method. A couple of little wafter changes, different pellets in there. Just a bit of bag and baits, bait booster spray, and different hooks and a few different wagglers depending on how the weather goes, timer and stuff like that. There you go, dead simple approach, no point complicating it here. just in front of me. I'm hoping to pick maybe a few decent skimmers, a few carp up hopefully. Not sure if you should get one or two shallow, but we'll see. We'll see what that's like. The wind was blowing that way, but it's now blowing this way. You've got to fancy end peg over there. I think Oliver's down there, I think, somewhere. 71 I think it is. Yeah, I can just see his ass. You've got to fancy that down there. So I don't know the guys either side of me. I'll just say that guy and this guy. And we'll see how we get on. So, dead simple approach. Nice and simple. Hope the tip goes round, hope the floats go under. Let's see if we can bag a few fish. So, there we go. We'll join you. Right folks, half an hour in. I started short. Some people started on bomb, some started shallow. And the guy to my right caught straight away shallow. So I've been on it. I've had 4 or 5 fish, but they've only been tiny little stockies. And I was getting a bite every put in, but they're only like sort of 4 or 5 inch long. And then I've gone shallow, lost one, just pulled out. And I've just hooked into this. He's had about 4 or 5 now, this guy to my right. That's why I went shallow. I thought, well, I've got to do, because the guy to my left had 1 or 2 as well, shallow. One opposite's had 1 shallow. I'll have to be daft not to go shallow. Took about 10 minutes or so, and then I started getting a few indications. Come on, fishy. Bloody spiders crawling all over us today. Getting them landing on my face. I don't want to get his head up. We haven't got him. Bloody rod resting way. Get that out of the bloody way. Semi-skimmed, folks, semi-skimmed. There we go. So I'm not going to say we're off the mark, because we were already off the mark. I just didn't fancy showing you the tiddlies that we're catching. Now, in the past, I know that they've fed 8 mils when they've been doing this, but as you can see, the smaller fish. There is some of the big originals in. They're crafty old sods. And these are the ones that we're catching at the minute. Bloody weed everywhere. Oh no, it's the grass she cut yesterday, isn't it? She was cutting grass yesterday with all on my bloody line. That's okay. I'll just feed a few. Bloody spider again on my face. Goddamn thing. Let's try and see if we can get anything into another one this guy outside of me. See if we can get one on the guy opposite's just got 1 shallow as well. So I'm not firing loads of bait in at the minute, because I've noticed he ain't neither to my right. He's just putting a few in now and again, slapping. So if that's how he's catching, I don't see point in me trying to fill it, keep him putting loads of pellets in. I'll just follow suit, because he's catching quite well, in the guy to my right. Don't get me wrong, I am feeding some. I'm trying to feed them short as well. Just short of my float, so you're slapping at the back. Yeah, just short that one. Because we don't want them pushing further out, and there's a swirl there. Now I've got an 8mm pellet on because there's a lot of these little ones. I have missed quite a few bites, and I suspect it's the smaller ones. You see, I think that was a smaller one. Because the one I hooked, no mistake in that one. You just get like little, maybe I can describe it, little dace bites. These spiders. Yeah, this guy seems to be catching them. One on my left just had one as well. This guy here on my right, he seems to be among a few at the minute. I will keep changing pellets. I'm not sure what he's using. It looked like an 8, but it's hard to tell from here. Whether he's feeding 4s or 6s, I don't know. Too short, that one. A little bit too short. We'll get a slap though. As you can see, you've got to try and keep everything accurate. When I watch other people do it, there we go. That was on no mistake in that one. Oh, that seems to be the pattern, folks, so let's see if we can keep getting 1 or 2, eh? Nice to get 1 or 2 of the originals as well. There's fish being caught everywhere. But I've got a feeling from match results that I've looked at, the winners are going to come from Adams. But hey, if we keep catching fish like that, we're in for a nice day, folks. We're in for a nice day. Yeah. Right, let me concentrate. Right, it's my 4th one sheller. The guy to my right's still catching. Don't know how many he's had is. I think he's got about 9, I think. There's fish coming out everywhere. Well, the ones that I'm looking at, I mean, I've got to keep my eye on my float, but the guy to my left had 1 or 2. I think this guy next to me has probably caught the most on this side of the bank up here where I am. It's hard to tell because when you're shallow fishing, you can't be looking around at everybody all the time. This feels like a better fish. So I've got 7 fish, but probably only for about £10. Not ready yet. He didn't want to come up. Whew. You're lively, aren't they? Lively folks. Lively fishies. You can tell when they're not the Gretel lumps. Because these young bucks are just as fit as anything. God, I want him to go around there, isn't he? Come on. Now he wants to go on the platform then. Oh yeah, bloody thing. This time we've got him this time, folks. There we go. He's probably about 3.5 pounds. Took it well down, that one. Crikey. There we go. I'll put 4 on because we don't want to get caught out, folks, do we? So there we go, steady away, bit of shallow fishing. Get in. And I've actually put it in a bit. I've noticed everybody else hasn't done it, I ain't copied, I just have to look around whatever we do fishing at, and we're fishing a little bit deeper than you think for this time of year. Just because of the weather. That's what I think. Right, here we go. Alright, into another one. We're still shallow. Lost one or two's bumped off. And I've just realised with the guy is to my right. Actually, I forgot. I'm saying, oh no, it is. Recognise his face. He's a bit of a specialist here. Fished through winter. Won a few matches in winter. Oh, it's not wanting to come off bottom there, it's bloody hell. And he's steady away. Not quite catching as many as him at the minute, but things can change, folks, things can change. Come on. Lots of fry, loads of frying. Decent fish, I think, this one. A bit better than the others. Come on, fishy, show your face. I keep meaning to move my bloody feeder rest, and it's in bloody way again, and move it round. While it's down there, I can't let it. Oh, there's a ghosty. Nice one, that's one of the originals, that. Yeah, there's a good 6 or 7 pounds. Six we'll give him. Oh, he's come to life now. I can tell them that they've definitely spawned, because it's as slim as anything, that. Yep, definitely spawned them. Look at that nice ghosty. So they're stocking up on pellets and I'm heaving them out. Here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there we go, folks. We're steady away. Very enjoyable. I've just got back off holiday yesterday. Fishing today. What more do you want, folks? I say, get in. Oh, damn it, I'm a belter. To another one shallow, it's just a little bit iffy. I've lost a couple of small and tiddler ones, and a half decent one. I think you saw me say, damn it, I lost a beauty earlier. If it's not foul hooked, this is a better fish, I think. Feels like a better fish. I thought I'd got him coming in then. How wrong can I be? Yeah, it's better than the stillers that I've been getting. I actually thought it might have been a bit bigger. It's just putting a mighty battle up, folks. Mighty. That time of year, isn't it? Well, so we're doing steady away on the shallow. I keep finding pouchfuls now and again, about 15 or 20 pouchfuls. I say 15, I reckon, roughly. I think you can get about 15 in a pouch of 8 mils for a bomber waggler line. So I'm not doing it too often, but now and again. So we'll see how this develops. Look at it. Folks, it went iffy on shallow. Had a look on bomb. It's not right for waggler. It's just not going to stay still enough. This wind. I've seen one or two people trying, but I've not seen anybody catch on one. I've gone back shallow again, and I've had a couple. A lot of small fish. I think they call this guy outside me Nick. He's definitely doing best here. He's winning now a section for sure. Guy to my left having 1 or 2 as well. But so am I, but just not a lot of weight. There's certainly plenty of fish knocking about. And there's a lot of fish I've not seen before in here, especially the small carp. So a few years' time, and they turn into the mums and dads, it's going to be pretty prolific because there's quite a lot of them in as well. So I'm up to about 30 odd pound. I think the guy outside me's probably got more like 60. Guy to my left, I'm not sure how me and him's doing against each other. It's just, I think it might be close between me and him, I'm not sure. It's hard to tell, trying to keep your eye on people. But we're plugging away. There's an hour and 40 minutes left. I have fed this margin, but I'm not holding my breath, folks. I'm not holding my breath. And as far as feeding goes, I can't quite make my mind up whether they're wanting feed or plenty of feed or just intermittent. And now and again when I've left it still while I've fed like that, it's gone and there've been better fish like you do with Waggler here. So sometimes I'll be slapping. Other times I'll just leave it a little bit longer, not ridiculously long. Maybe 5 or 6 seconds longer than I normally would. Pretty much when I'm feeding like this, when I've fed it, it's gone under. As you can see, that wind is left to right. It's just blown my pole right to left. It's all over the place, this wind today. And getting accurate pellets is, I found it difficult. 1 minute they're blowing left, next minute they're blowing right. I'm not running too bad with it, but I would have liked it to have been tidier. See, it's just dropped a little bit now. It'd be perfect for where we are now, but it don't stay like this long enough. I'm still getting lots of little taps, which I definitely know are small fish because when I've lifted the pole off, I've felt them rattling a little carp. Well, I've enjoyed it. It's been great practice to fish shallow. A little bit heavy, that one. I don't like going beyond. I like to keep it just short of me float.
But I've had a real quiet spell for about an hour or so. Ooh, just about to turn it over and it went down. I've had the odd fish doing that as well sometimes. Ready to pull your float out and there's a fish on. Well, again it's gone quiet on shallow. So I just thought I'd go a bit further out with the Waggler. First cast, where I've been putting those pellets. I wasn't holding my breath neither because I just thought, well, it's just calmed down. You can just see it's just calmed down a little bit. And I just thought, I'll give it a quick go. I thought it was coming up. He didn't bother. It's a better fish as well. He's wrapping around its bloody fins. Come on, sunshine. It's wrapped round the fins, you just can't get its head up when it's like that. Whoa. There we go. We've got him, folks, we've got him. A little bit bigger, about 4 poundish. Keep it away from boards. Another one on the Waggler. I thought it was a tiddler to start with and going really easy. I think it's a bit bigger than I thought. Certainly putting a decent scrap up, that's for sure. I'm not seeing it yet. Oh, man, it's put a right scrap up. I literally thought it were about a pound at most at first. It just didn't feel like any size at all. If I'd have been on a river, I'd have thought a pike could have got it. Coming in that easy. Certainly not a pound. Come on, sunshine, let's have a look at you. He's got to be getting tired now, surely, folks. Show us your face, show us your face. Decent size, folk. I think it's my biggest fish of the day. Going in, ruining all my margin swim. Just made a right mess of that for me. Whoa. Get him. Yes, biggest fish of the day. He's got to be 7 or 8 pound. Another one at Waggler, folks. Guy to my last been catching quite well, I know. This last sort of half hour is really, he's had to go in his margin with nothing, but he's doing really well. And I keep getting a bite every putting at Waggler. And they've not been easy to hit. Maybe some of them little ones and then you get a nice one. Well, this is a better fish. Not that it's one of them stockies from that we've been catching in winter. Yeah, it's if I could have hit every bite, I'd be doing rather well. But God, Bennett, bites are so delicate. Keep changing floats, and I found this one with a slimmer top. I seem to get a more positive bite on, so I've got to stick with that, folks, and let's see if we can keep getting a few more fish towards the end. There's half an hour to go. I don't think I'm going to try my margin. I know some of you folks probably think, oh, you've got to try margin end of a match. It's just never done any here at Hayfield. I spoke to Andy Kinder about it. It's alright if there's hardly anybody on or an end peg. So we'll just keep trying this out there. Wind keeps going left and right, it's driving me mad. Let's see if we can get one while you're on, folks. And if wind gets up, I have to change float again so I can see it, because it's dotted down as this one. 1 minute wind's in your face, left and right. So my catapulting, I'll pull it at the same stretch. It'll go miles, or it's well short. Not all the time, but it just keeps changing. So it's dotted right down. And there we go. Missed the bloody thing. And it seems to come after about 45 seconds of being in. So I'll give it one more go while you're on, folks. It's blowing towards me now, that wind. I have to give it a bit more then. A little touch there. Ooh, that there, little and zemp. That's not even pulled it down, that was just messing about with it. Folks, all weighed in. Apologies, I don't think I've got all the weighing in. I think I've got some of it in, but I did weigh 2 nets in. Well, today
peg 61. I didn't think it could be won from there. There's actually been some half decent weights knocking about. I think it was Nick to my right. He was catching right from the off. He's had a nice steady day. Tried up a little bit at the end for him. I think he's £99. The guy on my left, two pegs to my left, there weren't a great deal in us to start with, but I would say the last hour and a half, he's really started bagging. He really did have a great run. And mine, it just dried up. I really struggled for the last couple of hours. I went onto the Waggler for the last hour, and I had literally a bite to chuck, but I just could not hit them. I kept changing Wagglers. All different things I just kept changing, and I just couldn't. I mean, don't get me wrong, I had 1 or 2 out there, but the amount of bites I've missed, it was ridiculous. And I'm guessing, because there's a lot of fish in at the minute round about that sort of size, and they are taking 8mm pellets, and I'm guessing it must be those just nipping on it and pulling floats under. When I did hook into 1 or 2, they were half decent. I've actually had a very enjoyable day today. Got plenty of fish, but only for 45 £45. So I've been battered. I've been fish cake today, been battered on my right, battered on my left. But I'm not complaining. I've had a week off, straight back off holiday, straight into a fair few fish. Nice to practice the shallow fishing. I've enjoyed that. Nice to do a bit of Waggler fishing. Never had a bite on bomb or method. Never even tried the margin. I saw 1 or 2 people trying without any success. I think there was one guy along here somewhere had one for a £13, but apart from that, they were catching the small carp. So you saw exactly what I was doing. Top two and three, it was small carp. It was a small carp a chuck. If I'd have had like a 40 elastic on, I think I could have spooned them out. But you'd need millions of them, and there is thousands of them in here, but you need millions of them to compete. Apparently Adams has fished quite hard, so the winner might come from this lake. I don't know yet. I'm not staying for the presentation because I've left my snap at home. I'm bloody starving, so I'm going to get off. But like I said, I've top 2 and 2. My plan was top 2 and 2. Margin if I thought so, but I'd not really got my mind set on that one. Shallow are going to be my main aim, and mugging. I couldn't see the fish because of the wind, so I didn't bother doing any mugging. It was just shallow. And if I had to be critical of myself while I was shallow fishing, when I'm shallow, it's the first time I've shallow fished the island. When I'm carp shallow fishing, I have about a 2.5, quite a long lash. And today I fished a little bit deeper as well, because I thought with the weather, I didn't think they'd be at this depth, and it seemed to be right, that, because when I looked around everybody who started really shallow, they all ended up about the same sort of depth. I would say 2.5 to 3 foot, something like that. And I was getting plenty of bites again, and I hooked into a fair few. I had patches where it really dried up and couldn't get a bite, but initially I had quite a lot of bites. And if I had to be critical, and it goes against shallow fishing for carp because they get shallow fish for that often, you cannot do what you do with F1s and have a really short lash. But what I did notice was when I slapped it over and left it, I was getting a bite, but because I got a long lash, I was missing it. And I was like that, shall I shorten it or not? It just goes against principles to have a short lash when you're fishing shallow for carp. But the guy to my left, that's exactly what he did, and he said he started hitting a lot more fish, and that's why his catch rate went up. So I made a mistake not shortening that lash, because usually when you get one on a decent sized carp shallow fishing, it just goes, you know, there's no messing, you can't really miss them. But because there's a lot of new fish in here, sort of between this size and £3, they're not as wise as the old carp that were in here. So I think it's probably the first season they've been shallow fish for. So it might have been an idea to shorten it. It's one worth shorten the lash. It's one worth to remember until they cotton on and start backing off a little bit. But I certainly know carp fishing, put a pole over them, they just go. So I think that was a mistake there for sure. I don't think I've made any more mistakes. I couldn't get a bite on bomb. I couldn't get a bite on method. It's got to be 12, 14 foot deep out there. Can't really see him being in that water. I think I should have probably tried the Waggler earlier. I think I've had a few more fish. But I certainly think 45 pounds I had. If I'd have shot on the lash, and if I'd have gone on the Waggler early, all ifs and buts, folks. It's just what I'm thinking that I could have done better. Maybe I could have had 70 pound. But again, it's ifs and buts. But I've had a lot of fish for 45 pound because they've not been very big at all. So, you know, I always like to analyse what I've done to see if I can probably improve it the next time I go fishing. And at the minute, I seem to be analysing a lot because there's certainly some improvement to be had, because I'm not on a very good run at all. Not at all. So, and again, folks, don't beat yourself up, Alan. I'm not beating myself up. I enjoy fishing too much to beat myself up. So don't worry about that, folks. I'm absolutely sound of mind. Might be a little bit daft on occasions, but no, I'm not upset. I just know there's a few things to sort of rectify and put a few things together, get it sorted, and eventually I will have my day. Oh yes. You've got to think like that, folks. Otherwise, you would be one miserable so-and-so. I will have my day. So we've got lots coming up this year. I've got quite a bit of feeder fishing to do this year. Loving my feeder fishing. Like I said, this year I've neglected the fishing a little bit with how busy I've been, but hopefully get back on song, and we'll get a few decent results. And if you've noticed, I've not been with the old boys very much because there's been a lot of these matches have dropped on Wednesdays, like the UK champs, and with me working I can't do Tuesday, Wednesday and weekends. It's just impossible for me, so I've got to forfeit either the old boys when I've got Wednesday matches, and if I want to enter these big comps, I've got to fish those Wednesday matches. It's Wednesdays and Sundays for me. The rest of the days I work. So there we go. So just in case one or two here wondering why there's not as many old boys, that is the reason. I'm just wanting to sort of get into this match scene a little bit more, get the experience, get a bit of confidence, watch what other people are doing, and hopefully improve. There you have it. Right. And plus, talking to all these mighty fishermen is great, because there's a lot of them are more than happy to give you tips. Steve Cook, Steve Ringer, John Arthur, David Wood. You know, there's lots of people give you a lot of advice. Andy Kinder's absolutely fantastic with me. I always ring Andy Kinder. He's more than helpful. Nick Speed's another one. Tommy Pickering. So, you know, there's lots of guys out there. Joe Farrell, absolute legend, Joe Farrell. Mighty feeder fisherman, and he's always more than happy to me. So, you know, folks, get entered some of these comps. Get to meet a few more people. I'm meeting more people. It's fantastic. I just absolutely love it. So I hope you've enjoyed today's Maver Match This Qualifier at Hayfield Lakes as much as I have. I've got the UK champs on Wednesday. Got some wrecking to do there at the Glebe. So I look forward to that match on Wednesday. And don't forget, folks, it's absolutely free to subscribe. And if you click the notification bell, you'll get all our videos as we upload them, and a thumbs up, yeah, would be very, very nice. So until next time, folks, take care, and don't forget, fish on.